are finally ready to go. The College World Series in Omaha.
We still have more legends to be created.
Let's go. We go to work.
Deep to right field. Look out. It is one. Struck him out. Dive. He's got it.
We knew it was going to be exciting. We didn't know it was going to be this good. The Tigers can say, we are champions.
Being a national champion, that is the greatest feeling in the world.
Let the road to Omaha begin. The road to Omaha begins in Bristol, Connecticut. Welcome into the selection show. Our graphics department holds the keys to the answers to the test of the gateway to the West, and we are looking forward to it. Matt Schick, Kyle Peterson, and Mike Rooney. What answers are you most looking forward to here over the next 60 minutes?
For me, it's the last couple of the top 8 national seeds, the last couple of the hosts. I guess that was ultimately answered yesterday. So we don't need to worry about that today. And just what the bubble looks like. I think that's one of the biggest questions every year. Who's in it at the very end, who's not, and why?
Yeah, and we're entering an era of mega leagues, and you think about it, we've got something unprecedented. The SEC, the number 1 ranked league in college baseball, we've got 5 teams that are 13-17 in the regular season. How will the committee handle that?
Yeah, the bubble is going to be very, very interesting to quantify and examine a little bit later on. LSU won it all last year, not hosting a regional this year. Here are the 16 teams that will be hosting. These were announced last night. Go from Corvallis all the way down to Tallahassee. ECU hosting a regional for the 5th time in the last 8 seasons. Oklahoma, first time hosting a regional in 14 years. NC State hosting for the first time since 2018. How about UCSB? First regional on campus for the first time. Each of these 16 programs hosting a 4-team regional. It's a double elimination format. Winners of those 16 regionals advance to the super regional round for a best 2 out of 3 series, where the final 8 advance to the College World Series. The road becomes more manageable if you stay at home until Omaha. The top 8 national seeds can do just that if they keep winning. No surprise here, Runes. Tennessee, your number 1 overall.
Yeah, right out of the Antonio Gates, they led the country in home runs with 147. Christian Moore took over the NCAA tournament last year. Blake Burke, their first baseman, the most improved player in the country this year.
They've been doing it all dang season. 35-3 at home this year. Their 5th 50-win season, 3rd under Tony Vitello. Another SEC team in the mix, number 2 overall, Kentucky.
The co-regular season champs. First time that Kentucky has been to the NCAA tournament in back-to-back years. Each of those times, they were a top 16 seed. Ryan Waldschmidt, Ryan Nicholson lead them offensively. How about this combination of offensive stats? 78 home runs, 38 sack bunts, 109 stolen bases. They can beat you in a lot of different ways. Nick Mingione has Kentucky turned into a solid top-line program.
Top 8 national seed for the first time. The number 3 national seed, Texas A&M, Mike Rooney.
Yeah, highest seed in program history. They were 32-3 at home this year, and it starts with 3 future big leaguers at the top of the lineup. Gavin Grahovic, Jay Slaviolette, and Braden Montgomery.
They've made the field 16 of the last 17 seasons. Top 8 for the 4th time. Made Omaha 7 times, their last coming in 2022. The cleanup spot, it's North Carolina. Top 8 national seed for the 9th time and the first since 2018.
Yeah, one of the most consistent teams top to bottom in the entire country. 4.19 ERA. That's top 15 in the nation. Offensively, they've been there. Vance Honeycutt, over the course of his career, 50 home runs, 70 stolen bases. Nobody's ever done that in North Carolina. As a club, they hit 105 home runs. 5 guys in that lineup, double digits.
It's the number 4 seed. Number 5 seed, Arkansas. They don't score a ton, but, man, can they pitch, Mike Rooney.
Yeah, Dave Van Horn, 9 teams he's taken Omaha. That leads all active coaches. Hagen Smith, their ace, averaging 17.5 Ks per 9. If you think that's bonkers, you're right. That is absolutely bonkers.
You are correct.
Thank you. We passed the test. Top 8 national seed for the 7th time and the 5th in the last 6 seasons. How about 7 straight 40-win campaigns for Dave Van Horn? The number 6 seed is Clemson. Top 8 national seed for the 6th time. They were the number 4 last year.
They were, and they don't get Tennessee coming to Clemson this year, so that'll make you feel better. 41 wins over the course of the season. Cam Canarella kind of had a coming-out party last year in the postseason. He's been great. Blake Wright hit 21 home runs. But I love the transfer of Jimmy Obertop from Michigan. 310 this year, 19 home runs, solidifies him behind home plate.
How about Eric Bakich took a team that missed back-to-back tournaments to now back-to-back 40-win seasons. Georgia, number 7 overall seed. They got a pretty good player in that starting lineup, Michael.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure head coach Wes Johnson was in the big leagues 2 years ago, won a national title with LSU last year. Now they're hosting, they'll be a top 8. Charlie Condon, 35 home runs. That's the 6th highest total in college baseball history.
Leads Division I. He leads Division I in batting average, SEC Player of the Year. And what a nice comeback story for Florida State. Missed out on the tournament entirely last year. Link Jarrett has them as a top 8.
Yeah, this is really impressive. 44 straight they had gone to. Last year, they not only missed the tournament, they missed the ACC tournament last year. Come back this year, and Florida State can play at home for the next 2 weeks. Cam Smith, James Tibbs combined 39 home runs. Jamie Arnold punched down 134. That's 5th in the country.
Top 8 national seed for the 12th time, most of any school. Tennessee, the number 1 overall seed yet again. Another 50-win campaign. Here is the Knoxville Regional. They will open up against the Northern Kentucky Norse. Head coach Dizzy Payton, the Horizon League tournament champs, making their first NCAA tournament appearance after joining Division I 11 short years ago. Liam McFadden-Ackman, 21 home runs, leading the Horizon. Elsewhere in the Knoxville Regional, the Indiana Hoosiers look like some sort of bubble team coming in. Devin Taylor, 18 home runs, tied for the lead in the Big Ten. The Hoosiers are back in for the 10th time and the 8th time in the last 11 tournaments. They will face the Southern Miss Golden Eagles, the only team in the country to have won 40 or more games in each of the last 8 full seasons. A lot of bubble teams out there, certainly grateful that Southern Miss won their conference tournament yesterday. Sun Belt champs, 20th NCAA tournament appearance and their 8th straight. The Knoxville Regional is matched up with the Greenville Regional. Lewis Field and Clark LeClaire Stadium. Cliff Godwin, 16 national seed, most regional appearances without a trip to the College World Series. I'm sure they're done hearing that stat. 6 consecutive 40-win seasons. Brady Savage missed that conference tournament. The injury, he gets back on the mound. They will open up against the Evansville Purple Aces. What a story for head coach Wes Carroll in his 15th season. Missouri Valley Conference champs, their first appearance in 18 years after taking down Indiana State in the title game yesterday. Yes, hugs all around. Elsewhere in Greenville, the VCU Rams, their 3rd appearance in the last 4 seasons. The A-10 tournament champs beat Richmond 16-1 in that champ game. Brandon Ike, that A-10 most outstanding player in the tournament, 5 home runs on the week. He will face, Wake Forest. That's a dangerous Regional 2 seed. Nick Kurtz so good. 14 home runs in a 10-game span, 22 bombs on the season. Seaver King outstanding as well for head coach Tom Walton.
So you got a Wake Forest team that finally is as healthy as it's been the entire season. East Carolina, we'll see if they get Savage back. Partially collapsed lung. He didn't pitch last weekend. Think they'll probably get him back. But look on the other side. That's when it could get interesting. If Wake Forest can run through and win on the road, then you get Tennessee. There's a kid named Chase Burns that pitches for Wake Forest that's really good that used to pitch at Tennessee. All he did was lead the country in strikeouts with 184. There's plenty of storylines here.
30 more strikeouts than any other pitcher. Moving on down, we've got the Norman Regional. Oklahoma is the number 9 national seed. 40th NCAA appearance. Golf clap, their 3rd straight appearance. Haven't hosted a regional since 2010, and they will open up against Oral Roberts. The Golden Eagles were the champs out of the Summit League for the 3rd consecutive season. Their 30th NCAA tournament appearance. Holden Breeze, big hit king. They're in the Summit League. Moving on down, the Yukon Huskies are in the 25th NCAA tournament appearance. How about they've reached 6 straight regionals for the first time in program history. Jim Pender's club will face the Duke Blue Devils, a team that I thought they should have been hosting here. Chris Pollard, their 11th NCAA tournament appearance, the ACC tournament champs. 112 long bombs, the most in program history. Ben Miller, Alex Stone, A.J. Garcia, Zach Morris, Kelly Kapowski. No, not part of that. The Norman Regional is matched up with the Tallahassee Regional. And there we find, of course, Florida State. Dick Hauser Stadium, Link Jarrett and Company, their 60th NCAA appearance, second most all time. They will face the Stetson Hatters out of the Atlantic Sun, the 18th NCAA tournament appearance and their first since reaching the Supers back in 2018. Kyle Jones can swipe some bases. He's got 22 on the season. Steve Trimper and company headed to Tallahassee, as are a short trip for the UCF Knights. They had big wins over Cincinnati and Oklahoma State in the Big 12 tournament. One of those potential bubble teams. That'll bring you out of your chair. Rich Wallace in his first season getting it done. Former coach of Florida State. He's headed back home there to Florida State, as is Alabama. The Crimson Tide and head coach Rob Vaughn, 24th tournament appearance, getting it done. Back-to-back seasons in the field for the first time in 10 years. Mike Rooney.
NKU and UCF best watch party reacts so far for my money. 3 of these 8 teams were in a super regional last year, and bubble implications, UConn in, UCF in, Alabama in.
Tallahassee Regional and the Norman Regional squared up for a possible super. Here's the Fayetteville Regional. Arkansas Razorbacks. Baum Walker Stadium is going to be rocking. Dave Van Horn closing in on 900 wins at Arkansas. Peyton Holt, Kendall Diggs, Hagan Smith getting set for Arkansas. Who are we facing? Who are we going to open up against? How about the champs out of the Ohio Valley Conference? Southeast Missouri Redhawks and head coach Andy Sawyers. Their 6th tournament appearance and their 3rd in the last 4 seasons. Started the year 7-12, just kept on keeping on. Josh Cameron with 13 home runs. Kyle Miller, 3-time all-conference pitcher for the Redhawks. The Kansas State Wildcats are in, and head coach Pete Hughes. Top 10 in the nation in stolen bases with a $127. Jackson Wentworth on the mound. 5th tournament appearance in their first in 11 seasons. Welcome back to the Field of 64, Cats. You will face, that's a battle of cats and dogs, the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. Out of Conference USA, head coach Lane Burroughs, their 11th NCAA appearance. Paul McConnell, hit king out of Conference USA. Louisiana Tech, Kansas State on Friday, along with Arkansas at Southeast Missouri State. The Fayetteville Regional is squared up and matched up with the Charlottesville Regional. Virginia gets the 12 overall seed, hosting a regional for the 11th time. Harrison Didowick, 23 home runs, top 3 in the ACC. Private party there. Taking on the Quakers. Pennsylvania Quakers out of the Ivy League. The Ivy League champs. Back-to-back appearances after none since 1995. Wyatt Hensler with 22 home runs to break the Ivy League record. St. John's is in, the Big East Tournament champs. Mike Hampton in his first season. 38 all-time appearances for St. John's, but their first in 6 years. Red Storm will face the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Jurangelo Sanja, 3rd in the SEC with 108 strikeouts. How about Mississippi State making the Field of 64 for the first time since winning it all in 21?
And a few things on this. Obviously, Arkansas has pitched it better than anybody the entire season. Good to see K-State in. They were one of those teams last year that were one of the first 4 out. Thought they should have got in. This year, they're in and playing. Pete Hughes' club is going to be playing next weekend. Mississippi State, Virginia gets really interesting to me. And Mississippi State's got 2 real starters. Thought that they potentially should have hosted. They don't. Cal Stevens been great the whole year. And Virginia has one of the best offenses in the entire country. They're top 5 in runs per game. If those 2 end up in a 1-0-1-0 game, that would be a great Saturday game to watch.
Fayetteville and Charlottesville in a super regional. Let's go to the desert. Let's go to Tucson. The Arizona Wildcats. What a season it was. What a finish it was for not only their campaign, but for the Pac-12 as a whole. Pac-12 regular season and tournament champs. Tommy Spillane with that walk-off RBI single to capture the trophy against USC. They'll face GCU, the Lopes, the WAC regular season champs for the 4th straight year. They won the WAC by 5 games. Now, they lost to Tarleton State in the WAC tournament. Tarleton is ineligible, 4th and final year of that transition from Division II. So GCU is in as the regular season champs. Elsewhere in Tucson, West Virginia, J.J. Weatherholt, he's healthy. Missed 25 games with a hamstring. Still has the hamstring, but now he's healthy. 15th NCAA appearance in their back-to-back seasons for the first time since the 1960s. They will face the Dallas Baptist Patriots. 13th tournament appearance for DBU, the Conference USA champs. Ryan Johnson getting it done on the mound, top 5 in ERA and strikeouts nationally. Dan Hefner, DBU back in it. Tucson Regional matched up with the Chapel Hill Regional. The Bosch will be rocking this weekend. Top 8 national seed for the 9th time. Vance Honeycutt and company clapping and ready to take on a team that has had a incredible season. The Long Island Lutheran Sharks. Long Island University Sharks. Dan Perillo, not to be confused with the high school, in his 8th season, their 4th NCAA appearance. Seth Surratt, NEC Tournament MVP. How about Wofford? 2nd tournament appearance. First since 2007. The SoCon champs are in. 142 stolen bases. Nobody in the tournament has more. 8 players hitting 300 or better. Who do they got? The LSU Tigers and head coach Jay Johnson. What a run they had on the back half of the season. They lost 12 of their first 15 conference games. The first SEC team to do that and reach the tournament. Michael Braswell, certainly a difference maker since entering the leadoff spot. What a tournament they had there.
Yeah, there's some real star power in these 8 teams. J.J. Weatherholt for West Virginia, one of the best hitters in the tournament. Ryan Johnson, the ace for DBU. Then you think about Chapel Hill. What if you get North Carolina and LSU in that winner's bracket game? Vance Honeycutt, Tommy Tanks. Let's go.
Fantastic. Arizona, High Corbett Field. What a way to send off their relationship with the Pac-12. Great non-conference strength of schedule. Tucson gets a regional. Chapel Hill as well, and we are halfway through. We've released one half of the bracket, one half to go. We'll tell you what other teams are headed on the road to Omaha, which regionals their road will begin, and who's headed to Lexington to face one of the best teams in the country. Olin McCarthy, great squad, and they will welcome in the Western Michigan Broncos, the champs out of the MAC. The brown and gold are back in. First time in 8 years and only the 2nd time in 35 years. Cade Sullivan leading the MAC, nearly hitting 400 with 10 home runs. Illinois, Dan Hartleb in his 19th season as head coach. They're in for the first time since 2019. Big Ten regular season champs. Ryan Moorman with 18 home runs for the Illini. They'll face Indiana State, a team that thought they should have been hosting. Instead, they'll go on the road to Lexington. Mitch Hannes in his 11th season. This is a team that won a regional last season. Mike Sears, 23 home runs, led the MVC. The testy regional there in Lexington. That is matched up with the Corvallis regional for a super. Oregon State Beavers, number 15 national seed. We'll welcome 3 other teams to Goss Stadium. 3 straight 40-win seasons for the Beavers. Travis Mazzano with 26 home runs. They will face the Tulane Green Wave. How about Jackson Lynn, the 9-hole hitter with that walk-off home run to win the conference tournament yesterday. His 4th home run of the week. They win the American Athletic Conference Championship. Jay Ullman and company are back for the 2nd consecutive season. Nichols is in for back-to-back tournaments as well. After missing the previous 24 tournaments, Mike Silva, the head coach, the Southland Conference champs. Edgar Alvarez, top 10 in batting, hitting better than 400 with 12 bombs. They'll face the UC Irvine Eaters, the 10th NCAA appearance and the second in the last 4 seasons. Rip-O-Meters, they did it in the Big West. They knew a couple of College World Series as well, even back in 2014.
And a coach knows something about the College World Series. Ben Orloff has Irvine back in it. I think when you look top to bottom here, first of all, good to see Illinois in as an at-large. I know Indiana State thought they may be on the host line. Now you got to go play Kentucky, who's the number 2 overall seed. The combination of teams in Oregon State is really interesting to me. And I think my favorite part about this is the country gets to see Travis Bazzana on a big stage right now. You're going to see him play in the big leagues. He's going to be a top 10 overall pick here soon in the draft. But that's one to watch. You're going to see one of the best players in the entire country.
Program record 26 home runs, leading the Pac-12. Let's go to Raleigh, shall we? NC State, Doak Field at Dale Park. Head coach Elliott Avent, 28th season as head coach, more than 1,000 wins. 8th tournament appearance in the last 9 seasons, hosting a regional for the 7th time. Alec Makarevich, ECU transfer, one of the most experienced players in all of college baseball. Gary Pennington as well. Sam Highfill is back, 100% healthy. They will take on the Bryant Bulldogs, the champs out of the America East. First title in their second year as a member of the America East and their first appearance since 2016. Hold the trophy, hold the sign. Evan Noriega with 17 home runs led the conference this year. Elsewhere in Raleigh, another one of those bubble teams. Yeah. They're in.
Look at that reaction.
That is fantastic. The Dukes of James Madison. You never really know. When you're on the bubble, you don't know what's going to happen. 9th tournament appearance in their first in 13 years. The euphoria palpable with those napkin tablecloths. South Carolina Gamecocks will say hello to the Dukes. 35th tournament appearance. They finished 13-17 in league play, but did enough to get in. Oldesina, top 5 in the SEC in runs batted in, had a handful of home runs in that SEC tournament. Bryant, JMU, South Carolina, all heading to Raleigh. The Raleigh Regional matched up with the Athens Regional. The number 7 overall seed, the Georgia Bulldogs, have not won a regional since 2008 when they made it to the College World Series. I think that's a mask in the front row. Charlie Condon with 35 home runs, SEC Player of the Year. They will face Black Knights of Army West Point, Patriot League champs. 6th straight tournament appearance. Led the Ivy League with 57 home runs. Derek Berg had 15 of them. Georgia Tech is in. Danny Hall with his more than 1,200 wins as head coach. They know where the camera is. And we're doing, Mike Gritty, they're doing the Gritty dance. Appreciate it. Go on the set. Drew Burris, 23 home runs, second most among all Division I freshmen. Georgia Tech faces UNC Wilmington Seahawks, the champs out of Colonial, a league record 8 Colonial championships for the Seahawks. First back-to-back championships in 5 years for them. Tanner Thatch with 27 home runs. Randy Hood has him back in for the 12th time in program history runes.
Yeah, NC State's got a special group of freshman arms. Cole Messina, you mentioned, maybe the hottest player entering the tournament. In Athens, Condon, Tanner Thatch of UNCW, Drew Burris of Tech. I mean, there's some chance for some real power in Athens.
Raleigh and Athens, NC State and Georgia, perhaps on a collision course. Let's go to Clemson. Eric Bakich and Clemson. Again, took a program that missed back-to-back tournaments. Now they're back-to-back 40-win seasons. Hosting a regional for the 18th time, 9th most out of any school. They will face the High Point Panthers. What a great year it's been for that athletics department. Alan Huss takes the men's team to the tournament, or actually won the Big South Championship, I should say. And then baseball team gets their first NCAA appearance as Big South Tournament champs. How about Coastal Carolina? The Chanticleers, Gary Gilmore in his 29th and final season as head coach at CCU. They get in. Guy who almost became a PE teacher after 2 years on the job. Withstood the test of time, won a national championship, and they will face the Vanderbilt Commodores and head coach Tim Corbin. Their 22nd tournament appearance. Aiden Davis, good to see him back. Taking some at-bats in the SEC tournament. R.J. Austin, Calvin Hewitt getting it done on the bases for Vandy. That's the Clemson Regional. It's matched up with the Stillwater Regional. Josh Holliday's team is back in after winning the Big 12 tournament. 49th tournament appearance for the Cowboys. That's fourth most all time. Haven't won a regional since 2019. They'll go through Niagara. The Purple Eagles, they'll attempt to. Their first tournament appearance. Congrats to the champs out of the MAAC. Eric Radicek with 16 home runs for the Purple Eagles. Elsewhere in Stillwater, the Florida Gators are in the field for the 39th time and the 16th consecutive year, second longest active streak. We'll get to see Jack Caglione, top 5 with 29 home runs. They will face, we've got a Fiesta Bowl 1996 rematch.
Yes.
Will Bolts up in that thing. 18th NCAA tournament appearance. The Big Ten tournament champs lost the first game, won 5 straight. Josh Caron with 6 home runs in that Big Ten tournament.
Tommy touchdown. Come on back. Let's see it again. All right. First of all, Gary Gilmore is one of the greatest men in college baseball. And to see him get one more chance in the postseason is awesome. Vandy looked like a different offense now in the SEC tournament. We'll see if that can continue. Oklahoma State is a loaded regional. Florida, who knows when they're going to throw Caglione? I think that's a big question right now. They played just one game in the SEC tournament. Nebraska knows who they're going to throw, and it's Brett Sears. Closed out the Big Ten tournament. He's got an ERA right at 2 this year. It's top 5 in the entire country. And Bruins, you just saw Oklahoma State blow through the Big 12. Stillwater's going to be fun to watch.
How many tackles can one man break?
There were a lot of them.
Nebraska and Florida. Great to see those logos squared up against each other. Santa Barbara region. UC Santa Barbara. Caesar Usaka Stadium for the first time in the 64-team bracket era is going to host. They just put in artificial turf this year, nearly a $3 million renovation project. It paid off. 14th tournament appearance for the Gauchos. They'll face another team in the West, Fresno State, Mountain West champs. Won the conference tournament as a 4 seed. Rocco Pepe with 14 home runs, 76 home runs as a team. The Oregon Ducks are back in for the 4th straight year after missing 4 straight regionals. Went over in the Pac-12 tournament. They find their way in. Mason Neville, the best hitters in the Pac-12, had 16 home runs. And the San Diego Toreros are in, the West Coast Conference champs. These are some young players in the front. 10th NCAA tournament appearance, Jacob Christian with 23 home runs on the season. Congrats, San Diego. Santa Barbara matched up with the College Station Regional. Blue Bell Park, Texas A&M and Jim Schlossnagel. Brain Montgomery, Ace Laviolette, 28 home runs, top 5 in Division I. Lost a couple of games in the Stanford in the regional last year. Started 17-0 this year, looking to finish stronger. How about Grambling? Yes. Oh, they're on the bus.
Come on. Yes. So good.
The Tigers on their way back to Louisiana after winning the SWAC. I get used to that bus. I got a 300-mile drive to College Station. Kyle Walker with 11 home runs. Congrats to the Tigers on the bus. You love technology. That's outstanding. The Texas Longhorns are in for the 63rd time. That's the most of any school. 12 quad 1 wins, top 50 RPI. Jared Thomas, one of the best hitters in the conference. 109 home runs, second most in program history for the team. And they'll face the Louisiana Raging Cajuns. Head coach Matt Deggs, 19th tournament appearance. Haven't been to a Super in 9 years. They won 4 regionals. Took 2 or 3 from Southern Miss. Good team out of the Sun Belt. Getting an at-large Mike Rooney.
Yeah, great to see Santa Barbara hosting. They've had a ton of adversity this year. It's an Omaha caliber pitching staff. Fresno State won the national title in 2008 as a 4 seed. Hashtag just saying. And then Texas won 9 out of their 10 Big 12 series. Very dangerous 3 seed.